you are doing this thing, this is your business, you are working your buns off, creating all of this beautiful, beautiful product to go and sell people and make their lives better or more beautiful or better and more beautiful. And you need to pay yourself. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You need to pay yourself.
Are you a maker who loves your craft but hates the money talk? Welcome to the Profit for Product podcast, where we help makers turn financial chaos into clarity, all in 20 minutes or less. I'm Meagen Berquist, a money coach for handmade business owners. Follow me as I cover everything from budgeting basics to scaling your finances. We've got the stories, strategies, and encouragement you need to stay on track. Each episode will break down financial concepts into bite-sized, easy-to-understand tips so that you can implement them easily. Whether you're just starting out or looking to scale your business, tune in to learn how to master your money so you can get back to making. Now let's get started.
Hello and welcome back, friend. I am Meagen Berquist with the Profit for Product podcast. In Still and Soul Sustainables, my bread and butter has been doing craft fairs. So I've been doing these since I was a baby business owner back in 2019. Literally, my very first show was supposed to be 4-hour show, but turned out to be on the hottest day of the year. Turned out to be 110 in rural New Hampshire, which is not something that happens on a normal basis. But I still remember that like it was yesterday. The absolute joy and amazing feeling that you get when you realize someone, a stranger who does not know you, is willing to spend their money with you for the thing that you make. It is a feeling like no other. And craft shows are still a primary source of income for me. That is one of the reasons why I've gone a little bit radio silent the last couple of weeks. I have been going to show after show after show and then teaching during the week. So that has been a big fun time. But I thought I would come on and talk to you guys about what it means to be really profitable at a craft fair, because it isn't just, hey, here's my revenue, subtract my cost of goods and the show fee, and I'm good. Like, yeah, those definitely need to come out, but there's other stuff that I'm willing to bet that you're forgetting that you need to account for in terms of your net profit. Now, a couple of term clarifications before I get into the meat of the episode. When it comes to profit, there are two types of profit. There is gross profit and net profit. And it sounds like, oh, well, this should be the same. It's not. What is the difference between gross profit and net profit? Well, I'll tell you. So, gross profit is the money that you get after you subtract your direct expenses. That's your cost of goods. That is your gas to get there. That is your cost of goods, and that is the show fee that you paid. Those are direct costs that you had to pay in order to make that money. Net profit is a little bit more challenging to do because you have to really think about all of the expenses that go into running a craft show. So you have to think about the food that you had to eat while you were there. You have to think about the mileage that you put on your car. You have to think about the hours that you spent there. You have to think about the cost of the displays that you created. It's all of these little things that we have to account for. We have to account for that overhead of going and doing a show. So today we are talking about net profit and what we need to think about when we're calculating our net profit. And if you really just don't want to be bothered with that, I have a craft show template, profit template down in the show notes that I would love for you to grab so that you can just make this easy peasy and not have to be a spreadsheet wizard. One of the things that you are probably forgetting to account for is the mileage on your car to actually go to the show. A lot of people forget about this because you're like, oh, I take a deduction, which is true, you do. But you need to account for it when you're figuring out whether that show is worth it or not. I have a certain number that I want to hit every hour, the average hourly rate that I want to make for all of the work that I have put in. And that includes taking out the mileage deduction before I calculate that profit, before I calculate that revenue. And the reason why is this: when we're talking about mileage, we're not only talking about the actual wear and tear on your vehicle, we're talking about your time. I have some shows that do very well for me, but when it comes down to a per hour basis, they're not worth it because I have to drive so far to get there and I have to stay overnight in a hotel. I have to do all of these things that just make it not worth my time investment when I could be doing something else, like recording this podcast for you. Something else you are probably forgetting is the cost of gas and lodging. So maybe not the lodging bit. If you have to stay somewhere, I'm sure you know that you need to deduct your hotel room or Airbnb or wherever you stayed, the cost of that from your gross revenue. But if you don't, here's your PSA. Do that, please, because if we're not deducting that, then that is an inaccurate understanding of where we're at. Another one is your show fee. How much was it? I have had shows where I paid $80 and made a killing. I've also had shows where I took almost a loss after everything. And honestly, show fees can make up a bunch of that. There are times when I pay $600 to do a show, and I need that to do better to get my hourly rate than I do an $80 show. And now this last one, I know you're not going to want to hear it because I don't want to hear it either. This is me preaching to the choir, and me needing to take my own advice, and that is wages. So you are doing this thing. This is your business. You are working your buns off, creating all of this beautiful, beautiful product to go and sell people and make their lives better or more beautiful or better and more beautiful. And you need to pay yourself. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You need to pay yourself. This is something that I struggled with, i.e., I did not do it for the first 4 years of my business. I did not pay myself a consistent paycheck, and it showed. I did not take it as seriously, and I didn't take my profit seriously until the end of that 4th year. But you need to be thinking about your wage cost because eventually you might want to hire someone to go do shows for you or instead of you or in addition to you. But you need to be thinking about that so that you know that your time is valuable. Your time is worth paying for and that you have that built in to your profitability determination. So this is what I do at the end of each fair. It's not necessarily that day, but it's sometime in the following week. I check out my mileage. I figure out the cost of my gas and my lodging. I subtract my show fees. I subtract my wages. And I subtract my cost of goods sold, which is all of the inventory cost. Now, as we go into the busiest part of the year, I wish you the best of luck and the most profitable craft shows. Bye for now.